بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. السلام عليكم and welcome to Fiqh al-Muamalat online course. And today is a continuation of the discussions of the prohibitions of Sharia, and we are still in Riba, whereby we provided a kind of overall description on the provisions that have been mentioned in the Quran al-Kareem. Then we highlighted also the main provisions in the tradition of the Prophet, Hadith al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, with regards to the prohibitions of riba. And today we carry on the definition of riba itself, and of course its classification. So we start with the meaning, the literal meaning. Literal meaning of riba. Of course, the word riba is the term used in Arabic. And the equivalent of this term in the English version is basically interest. That one has been agreed by the Sharia scholars and by the expert of Islamic economic and Islamic finance and Sharia scholars, the contemporary scholars, that they have determined that the interest is the equivalent term of riba. So riba in its literal meaning is basically increase, addition, expansions, grow. Though that's the literal meaning used in the Arabic language. But its technical meaning, it is basically referred to the premium that must be paid by the borrower to the lender along with the principal amount as a conditions for the loan to be provided, or as an extension in its maturity. So which means that there is a borrower and there is a lender, and the lender will extend a loan to the borrower with the condition that a premium to be added to the principal upon repayment. And this one will be regarded as a part and parcel of the facility, part and parcel of the term. Which means that without this addition of the premium to the principal, the loan cannot be granted. So upon its payment, or upon the payments or the repayments of the borrower to the loan, he will pay the loan principal plus the addition that has been agreed upon, which will be basically regarded as a conditions for the extensions or granting of the loan. This addition also could be a condition for extension of the maturity. In other words, that there is a relationship again of a borrower and a lender, borrower and lender, and it could be in a form of free of charge loan upon the payment. Let's say the lender provide a loan of $1,000 to be paid back within 1 year, free of charge, no premium added, no interest added. But upon the maturity, for whatever reason, the borrower cannot pay on time and request extension, what he will do, he will put conditions whereby the extension is subject to a premium added to the principal. So this one is also regarded as riba. In other words, either the premium or the addition is added before granting the loan at the beginning, so it is part and parcel of granting the loan to the borrower, whereby when he will pay back, he will pay the principal plus the addition premium. That one is riba. The other one, the other version, which is regarded as riba also, is the extension of its maturity to whatever specific they agree upon. For that extension, he will charge additional money. That one is also regarded as riba. And of course, as you can see, this definition, it is more related to what's so-called riba al-duyun, because riba is divided into two. Actually, the first one is riba الديون or riba al-jahiliya or riba al-Nasi'ah or the riba related to the loan or riba related to the extension of the loan, all these will be basically under the same box or under the same theme. And the other one is basically riba al-fadl, which is more related to the commodity. So this definition, as you can see, it is more related to the first type of riba, which is riba based on what's called a loan, or the type of riba related to the debt. So again, this one leads us to the classification I have mentioned, whereby in overall scholars divide riba into riba al-Nasi'ah and riba al-Fadl. And the word riba al-Nasi'ah is basically means postpone or defer or wait. That's the word Nasi'ah. You know, we divide into riba al-Nasi'ah, riba al-Fadl. So riba al-Nasi'ah, the word Nasi'ah means, of course, in Arabic language, or also in the term of riba, means, you know, to postpone, to delay, and to wait. This is why there is a term used in the past history, ansini azidka, meaning give me a postpone the payment, give me time, wait for me, I will increase, I will add a little bit some of the amount in addition to the principal. So that's the word of Nasi'ah. It is more related to the delay, to the postpone, to the waiting period that could be extended from the lender to the borrower in what's called a lieu of having additional amount to be added to the principal. And it is known also as a riba al-jahiliya, meaning you know, the time before Islam, because that's the kind of riba that has been described by the Quran al-Kareem, and it was basically very spread in the society and practice and being abused in the society as well. And that's the one that's basically more relevant to the banking system because it's, as I mentioned, deals with loans, deal with borrowing and lending, deals with an extension of the time to pay, and all these features basically are practiced in the conventional banking, meaning that in the conventional banking they will give you a loan with the condition of addition amount of, let's say, 2%, 3% to be added to the principal upon payment. That's basically the interest, and this is the definition of riba. And now let's say they give you something free of charge or even with interest, then for whatever reason you cannot pay and you ask for extension, the extension will be granted by adding additional what's called a premium. That's also riba. It will be kind of a compounded riba, which is also condemned and prohibited in Sharia and by the Quran in very clear provisions. So again, it's referred, this kind of riba al-Nasi'ah, it's referred to the time that is allowed for the borrower to repay the loan in return of the additions of the premium, as we have mentioned. So we give an extensions, but you have to pay additional premium. So as a result of that, the riba al-Nasi'ah is equivalent to what's so-called interest charged on loan, as we have mentioned, and this is basically the stand of the Sharia scholars in the interpretations of the interest practice in the conventional banking. And it is, of course, not permissible, and it is not allowed, and it is prohibited and should be avoided. Now again, the prohibitions of riba will be applicable whether the amount of the premium is small or big. So it doesn't matter. Even 1%, even 0.5%, as long as there is addition to the premium, it will be basically an interest. So whether it is a small amount or a big amount, so it doesn't change the prohibitions and the stand of Sharia. And also whether this amount, in addition to the principal, is fixed or a percentage. For example, $1,000, but when you pay me back, you top up or you add addition of $10. So in total it will be, meaning an absolute number, $10, meaning when you pay me back $1,000 plus $10, 1,010. This is also prohibited. Or it could be a percentage. You give me 2% of the principal amount, meaning 1,000 plus 2% of the 1,000 to be paid back. This one is also not allowed. And this also what's so called amount should be or must be imposed by the lender, meaning that the lender will put this kind of term in granting the loan in the first place, or upon request of extension the maturity of the loan, meaning it is imposed by the lender on the borrower as the conditions to provide and grant this kind of facility. But sometimes what happens is that the borrower, and this is basically very clear distinctions between the loan based on interest and loan which is a free of charge of interest, or known as qard hasan, whereby in the case, for example, that the lenders extend the loan with the conditions to put additional amount, absolute, variable, fixed, percentage, whatever, but benefit, because the rule say, the Sharia rule says, or the Hadith says, كل قرض جر منفعة فهو ربا, meaning any kind of benefit as a result, generated as a result of granting loan, will be regarded as riba. So it doesn't mean it should be an amount. It could be even a pen. It couldn't be even a ride. It could be a meal. It could be even a coffee. As long it is imposed as conditions by the lender. It could be in a form of benefit. It could be in a form of user flight. It could be in form of services. It could be a form of tangible asset. It could be a form of cash. It could be a form of gold, silver, any benefit that could could be generated as a result of granting this kind of loan would be regarded as riba if it is imposed by the lender. Now, the other scenario is that the borrower or the lender did not impose any conditions for granting the loan, meaning give you you ask for $1,000 US, we will give you $1,000 US, but there is no condition stipulated in the agreements, in the loan, in the arrangements between the borrower and the lender that the borrower should pay any additional amount to the what's so called loan granted. That one is not riba, right? It is a free of charge loan. It is a qard hasan. We'll give you $1,000 US, and there is no conditions that has been imposed with a loan. No benefit has been imposed with the loan to the borrower. But upon maturity, upon payment of that kind of loan, the borrower, from his own distractions, from his own actions, as a result of his maybe kindness, as a result of his expressions of appreciations and thanks, without prior conditions, without any kind of pressure, within his thoughts that he wants to add something to the principal, to express his gratitude, to express his thanks and appreciation to the lender. Is that permissible? That one, yes, it's permissible. And this is, we call it a kind of husnul qada, is a kind of a proper way basically to thank the others, is basically to give them something, what's so-called form of kind of appreciations for their help, assistance, and so on and so forth. So that one will not be regarded as a as a as an interest. Like for example, you give a gift, a pen, or for example, you gift a book. You give as a gift as a book, for example, a pen. You bring him for a dinner. You bring him for coffee. Meaning you may give him a kind of benefit in a form of a tangible asset or user flag or services, or sometimes even additional amount or sweets or cakes or whatever. You know, that's kind of actions, if it is provided and performed by the borrower as an appreciations to what the lender has helped him or provided to him, that one is not an issue. So basically, to distinguish between the riba and the qard hasan, in this case, because what you have in both conventional, you give a loan, qard hasan, you give a loan, 1,000, 1,000. In the conventional, you will pay back, let's say, $10. In the Islamic qard hasan, he may pay back $10. But why this one is not permissible? This one is permissible. The only difference is that the $10 has been imposed by the lender. The $10 has been provided as a gift by the borrower. In the first one, the lender is under legal obligations to provide this, the borrower. The borrower is under legal obligations to provide this addition. The borrower in the qard hasan under no obligations, no legal or ethical or even Sharia obligation to provide any return. If he wants to give a gift, fine. If he doesn't want to give a gift, fine. No one will basically force him to do so. So it is at the absolute discretions of of the borrower, whereby in the conventional, the borrower is under the obligations to provide, otherwise he may receive a kind of legal actions, he may face a kind of pursue from the financial institution or from the lender, you know, to pursue to get that kind of addition. So that's basically some fine points between the qard hasan, in case there is a kind of return in a form of gifts, and the interest whereby the return is part and parcel of the structure. So basically, return or the addition or the premium in the conventional is part and parcel of the structure itself. This is how it functions. But the qard hasan, the addition is not part and parcel of the structure. It is something over and above. It could be there or not. And if it is there, it is provided by the borrower. It is not imposed by the lender. But anyway, this is in general basically the overall descriptions of the first one, which is riba al-duyun, or riba al-Nasi'ah, or riba related to the loan, or riba related to the debt, or riba related to the extensions of the maturity of specific loan. It is prohibited and it is not allowed to be practiced in the Islamic financial institution. But on the other hand, it represents the core business in the conventional banking activities. And Islamic finance, riba or interest has been removed 100% totally and replaced by other what's so-called different Sharia contracts, which are based on a different cluster, as we are going to highlight. In the coming sessions, we will talk about the other types of riba, which is riba al-fadl. With that, thank you very much, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.